Greetings, everyone. This is the Gardening Snail of Livingston, California, just trying to keep the community informed with a little added commentary along the way. In this video, we will be going over what's on the agenda for the March 5th, 2024 City Council meeting. City Council closed session and open session regular meeting agenda for March 5th, 2024. Closed session to run from 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Open session to begin at 7 p.m. You can participate via teleconference by calling 520-525-8911. The open session will also be streamed on YouTube Live. Public comments can be submitted via email at citycouncil@livingstoncity.com. Comments must be received by 2 p.m. on the day of the City Council meeting in order for them to be distributed to the Council prior to consideration of the matter. You will need to provide meeting date, item number, name, email, and comment. Please limit to 300 words or 3 minutes. Please include public comment in the subject for the email. Written comments will not be read aloud at the meeting, but will be reported as received for the record. If you do not receive an acknowledgement of receipt by 4 p.m., please call the City Clerk's office at 209-394-8041, extension 121. Note, this technology is not a guaranteed method. Closed session. A closed or executive session of the City Council may include, but is not limited to, personnel matters, labor negotiations, security matters, providing instructions to real property negotiators, conferences with legal counsel regarding pending litigation. There are 2 liability claims against the City of Livingston under closed session. Moving on to the regular meeting after the Pledge of Allegiance moment of silence, roll call, closed session announcements, and changes to the agenda is citizen comments, where you can address the City Council on any item not on the agenda. You're normally limited to 3 minutes. After that is announcements and reports with a Planning Department update as the featured report from City staff. So who's on what boards and committees here? More who's on what committees. Which leads us to the consent agenda. Items on the consent calendar are considered routine or non-controversial and will be enacted by one vote unless separate action is requested by a member of the public, the city manager, or city council member. Item number 1 on the consent agenda is a treasurer's report. Item 2 is about applying for a $12 million plus loan to build a housing development. Item 3 is a professional service agreement with the Circus. On to discussion and potential action items. Number 4 is about hiring an executive search firm to try to help the city find a permanent city manager. We seem to be having difficulties in that arena lately. Item number 5 is about term limits. Item number 6 is about changing the 4th of July committee from a standing committee to an ad hoc committee, and the proposed budget and schedule of events for the next 4th of July event. Wrapping up with council direction on future agenda items and adjournment. Moving on with staff reports and other documentation, we'll begin with the City of Livingston's March 5th, 2024 Community Development Department update. There will be an update of what's going on with the general plan update, the housing element update, and requests for things like general plan amendments, rezones, tentative subdivision maps, tentative parcel maps, and so on. Under industrial projects, there's the Green Zone Industrial Park. For commercial projects at the Highway 99 Hammett Avenue interchange, we have the Maverick Truck and Auto Fueling Islands with a convenience store and quick service restaurant, the Quickway Travel Center, and AAA Truck Wash. Under residential projects, there is an 80-unit affordable housing development. It's my understanding that it's this project that's going to be involved in a at least $12 million loan application. numbers of building permit reviews and construction projects, and a little more about the Quickway Travel Center. Residential building permits featuring the Tierra Santa Villages apartment project. And construction projects, the Arco AM/PM and Dutch Brothers Coffee Kiosk. With some time for comments and questions from the audience. Here's the Treasurer's report for the period ending January 31st, 2024. The grand total of cash and investments was $40,087,754. Of that, $8,130,175 was in F&M Bank. Moving on to the staff report about that really big loan to construct a housing project. It is about adopting a resolution authorizing the City of Livingston to apply to the State of California Department of Housing and Community Development for Home Investment Partnerships Program funds not to exceed $12,150,000 to provide project financing which will be used to construct the Livingston B Street project. So my first question is, how will this loan get paid back so the city doesn't end up being on the hook for it? Your background and discussion, it states, the City of Livingston would be the applicant and Self-Help Enterprises would be the sponsor/developer, and home funds would contribute to the construction of the Livingston B Street project, an 80-unit affordable rental community in the City of Livingston. I still want to know how this is going to get paid back so Livingston does not end up on the hook. All right, under fiscal impact, it states Self-Help Enterprises will complete the home application and all necessary due diligence at no cost to the city. Okay, but that doesn't say that Self-Help Enterprises will be in charge of making sure that the money gets paid back. I want to know how the money is going to get paid back so Livingston does not end up on the hook for $12 million. Looking a little further on, it says the project will be income certified and monitored through the tax credit program. Okay, fine. It still doesn't spell out to me in plain language how the city is going to be kept off the hook for $12 million in loans. Please, can someone please explain that? The staff report wraps up by saying Self-Help Enterprises will provide all the information needed for reporting purposes. Well, I hope someone from Self-Help Enterprises will provide all the information needed during the City Council meeting to assure the city will not be on the hook for this money. Moving on. Next is a professional services agreement between the City of Livingston and a circus. The event would run between May 23rd through May 27th, 2024, which is a Thursday through Sunday Memorial Day weekend. And the city would receive 25% of all ticket sales. Next item is a discussion item about term limits, a topic which seems to come and go round and round and round again every so often. Now to the discussion and direction regarding the 4th of July Standing Committee recommendations. It looks like the original idea to have a standing 4th of July committee, which requires public noticing, did not pan out as well as originally hoped. To my knowledge, there's been only one meeting so far, and these are the recommendations that came from that. A 5-day celebration beginning Thursday, July 4th, and ending on Sunday, July 7th. Fireworks on Friday, July 5th, along with other activities as you can see here. A $50,000 to $60,000 budget for the event, which does not include the price for the fireworks. And there is also that request to change the committee type from standing committee, which requires public noticing, to an ad hoc committee. It should be noted that the city has historically generated about $40,000 in revenue from the sale of carnival ride wristbands, which may be used to offset the cost of the event. And if you do the math, you can figure that $40,000 is not going to cover the entire amount for the event as proposed. And then there's the costs of the fireworks to still consider. Not to mention the additional personnel expenses for overtime and other labor costs for the use of city staff on the weekends and after hours. If you like what I do here, please follow me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And remember, editorial content is my own as a long-term resident of Livingston and does not represent the views and opinions of the City Council or the City of Livingston itself, and does not hold itself out to be any kind of legal advice.